It's the Refined Reseller. Thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel. I have another item for you to add to your eBay bolo list. Of course, bolo stands for be on the lookout for, and here they are. I'll tell you all about them in this video. Well, here they are. These are Garbage Pail Kids cards. I bought these at an estate sale. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history of them and show you what the value of some of these cards are, so check it out. Garbage Pail Kids trading cards were produced by the Topps companies from 1985 to 1988. They are a takeoff or a parody of a very popular toy at the time, and of course that was Cabbage Patch Kids. There are 600 different characters. Each character has 2 cards, so there are a total of 1,200 cards. For some reason, they had the exact same card, and it had 2 different names. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in just a minute. Now, all of these cards are rather comical. I remember when they first came out, kids loved them, the parents hated them, and they basically had some abnormality, a deformity, or they were suffering some type of terrible fate. Parents thought they were gross and they were inappropriate, and actually some of these cards were banned in some schools. You know, kids could not bring them to school. So let's take a look at some and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Now, as you see, all of these cards are kind of like a play on words or a play on names. Here is Rapid Richard. Of course, Richard Simmons was a weight loss exercise guru back in the 1980s. They made a card about him. This is Tim the Toolman Taylor, and he is chopping off his neighbor's head. His neighbor's name was Wilson. Of course, this was a comedy that was on ABC back in the 80s. And here you have Centipede instead of Centipede. Now here are 3 more. This is Contrabrandy instead of Contraband. You also have R.L. Slime instead of R.L. Stein, the author of all of the Goosebump books. And now you have Patty Putty. As you can see, her face is basically made of silly putty. I think these are great. Continuing on here, now these are rather gross. This is Bloody Mary, and she is swimming in a pool of her own blood. Next, you have Upset Tommy instead of Upset Tummy, and he's just throwing up something. I'm not sure what he's throwing up, but it is rather gross. And then you have Juicy Jess, whose face is just full of pimples, and she's sitting there popping the pimples and putting the juice on her toothbrush. Now, when people think of Garbage Pail Kids, sometimes the first one that comes to mind is this one right here. It has 2 names. It's either Adam Bob or Blasted Billy. This image was used on the original boxes and packs in which the cards were distributed for the first 5 series. And with Adam Bob's increased exposure on boxes, the card is enormously popular and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for a copy in high grade. I happen to have a Blasted Billy card that I sent off to be graded. I bought this at an estate sale in a lot with some other ones I'm going to show you in just a second. Now, you know, when you send off a card to be graded, there are some issues. It could take 6 months, 8 months, up to a year to come back to you. Fortunately for me, I have a friend who grades hundreds of cards. He has some type of special deal with PSA, and I got this back in a month. It graded out as an 8. This is, again, Blasted Billy, also known as Adam Bomb. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this is selling for. Here's the exact card that I have, and as you can see, it sold for $401.88. Here's another one. It sold for $361.99. They are both graded an 8, just like mine, so I'm hoping to get $400 for the card that I have. I have some other cards as well, and these are sealed packs. This is series 5, 7, and 8. They're really not worth a lot of money, maybe $10 at the most. I mean, I guess I could open them and see what the individual cards are and see if they have more value, but I'll probably just sell these individually and hope to get about $10 each for these. Then I have, I have another pack too. This is actually the 3rd series, and I have a standalone card right here. This is Cabbage Pail Kids Minutes Dennis. I don't know what it's worth. I'm going to have to look it up and find out. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some cards that have really great value. We're going to start off with the one that I have. That is Adam Bomb or Blasted Billy. If it was a PSA 10, it can be worth as much as $4,000. We've already talked about this one. Mine is an 8. I'm estimating it to be between $350 and $400. Next, you have schizophren, and this created a lot of controversy because, using the word schizo for schizophrenia was not politically correct. So they actually changed the name of this one to Fran. And if it was graded a 10, it could be worth as much as $1,000. Next up is Junkie Jeff. It is card number 22A, also known as Stinky Stan. It features a boy having his garbage-riddled head raided by a starving alley cat. I don't know who thought up these things, but they were really pretty cool. Again, a PSA 10 is worth about $1,000. It is number 1A or number 1B, depending on the name of the card. You have Evil Eddie. It is also known as Nasty Nick. And with a 10 PSA, it can be worth as much as $2,200 because, again, it was the first card and it was in the very first series. Moving right along, we have Soft Boiled Sam from Series 2, 1985. Sam is basically an egg that is cracked and a chicken is coming out of his head. It can sell for as much as $875. Then we have right here Jay Decay from Series 1, 1985. Basically, Jay is decaying, he's coming out of a grave, and he can go for as much as $600. Here is Nerdy Norm. Now take a look at this. He's smoking cigarettes. He has 4 cigarettes in his mouth, 1 in his ear, 1 in his hand, 1 in his toes. He's drinking coffee, he's drinking Cokes, and it's just really graphic here, and it can sell for as much as $900. This is from Series 1. It is number 4A and 4B, Electric Bill and Fryin' Brian. As you can see, it's exactly the same. It just has 2 different names. They did that so they could create 1,200 cards instead of 600. And he's just being electrocuted in the old electric chair. And this can sell for as much as $500. And I'll show you a couple more that aren't quite as valuable as the ones I just showed you. This one is worth about $200. This is Bad Breath Seth, and he's just got bad breath. You see another person behind him in a gas mask, and the birds are falling out of the sky. Here's another one that is worth about $400. This is Jolted Joel. He, of course, is a musician. He is a guitar player. He plugs in his amp, and he is getting electrocuted. So there you have it, another item to add to your eBay BOLO list, Garbage Pail Kids. I happen to find these at an estate sale. This one right here alone is worth about $400. I hope you're able to find some as well. I also hope this video was helpful. If it was, please take the time to like it, subscribe to my channel, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. This is the Refined Reseller saying, as always, do like me, buy low, sell high, good sourcing, good selling, and I'll see you next time.